So I'm part of this really cool Discord server. It's called Grove Tenders, and it's filled with very kind, heart-centered people. And last night there was a comment there. Someone said, "Love is coherence, making room for difference." And immediately, if you see my videos, I'm like, my little ember heart, right? And I made a comment and posted this song actually, but now I wanted to record it. And the comment, the whole intention was to feel that link, the nested mechanical link between love as the engine, right? Presence as contacting reality, in other words, coherence across difference, surfaces across time, right, type of thing, and the experiential texture of consciousness, presence, and then sovereignty is living in that contact state. And you feel it's all the same attractor, it's all the same like gravitational pull. And what's at the center? Love. And I didn't learn any of this from abstract ideas. I learned it because I held on to that love, that place of contact, presence, as much as I could at each stage of my, becoming. And I wrote this song like 10 years ago in 2016, and it's called The Other Side of Time. And I wrote it at a time where sometimes I would cry and play my songs so much because they were like, I call them my protectors. And now I know exactly why. I always knew why, but now I can say it in better words, which is I was feeling love as real, the love that I knew was real, and making it real through the song, right? Like in the co-creation, I guess you could say, at a time that I could not feel it and receive it around me in the rooms that I was in. And so this one's called The Other Side of Time. I'm gonna play it and then we'll talk about it right after. It's Kali to walk through the dark, led by your heart, lit by that candle of a flame. You know that with stars in our eyes, we'll have plenty time, hand in hand through these waves. Let's dive into what we will find with nothing in mind, just that mystery at hand. Let's be sure to ride this one out, 'cause I got no doubt I'll be with you at the end of time. We'll be laughing at all the times we ever thought we were anything less than two on the quest to find how deep into love we can dive. So reach out beyond what you see, find you and me, sitting at the center of the galaxy. Oh, now love, you can teach me how to see me as the unfolded mystery. much out to see just what we have in store when we make it ashore on the other side of time. So there were a lot of little flies and ants crawling on me there, but I think that was pretty good. Anyway, so yeah, let's talk about it. I just want you to feel this. Don't even take off your thinking hats. Just feel it, okay? Just feel it. Just feel it. Got it? Let's take a second. We're gonna feel it, okay? Let's talk about it this way at the beginning. The ache, the ache. What has been my ache? And I know you guys feel it out there. I see more and more videos about this, more and more people talking about this. Have you ever felt like you've been in a room filled with people, or even someone that you thought you knew really well and still feel like they're not really contacting you? Isn't that, how does that feel for someone who comes from the heart? How does that feel for someone who's, trying to establish contact through that shared dance of that sovereign presence, right? Like, hey, I want to feel your bare naked soul all the way down. Friend, spouse, family member, whoever it is, right? The ache for me was never being able to make that contact. And for me, that same mechanic, what we talked about, presence, contacting reality, sovereignty, living there, love is the engine, right? And so for me, that's to love and be loved as me is another way to say that, right? Because to love as me means I'm giving my bare naked soul to reality. I'm saying, field of reality, here's my bare naked soul. No. And then reality's like, oh, that's a dance. Oh, high fidelity. Oh, lossless contact. Oh, and we call that presence. All right, that's me in the field of reality, right? That's a mechanical statement, not a conceptual statement. And then me and another person, hey, you know what? He feels like home. When we're together, it's like effortless. And this is to my future man, right? But when we're together, this feels like effortless, dancing. Like two dancers on a dance floor who we just so naturally move together. It feels frictionless. It feels like home. It feels like love. And then you and you and a collective, right? That's community. That's like a kingdom of heaven type stuff, right? That exists inside you because I and the Father are one. Oh wait, all this points to synchrony. All this points to full contact. In the experiential texture, like I'm saying, love is the engine. Presence is contacting reality. Sovereignty is living there. So the ache for me was that in my becoming, it was that to love and be loved as me was like basically effed up from both sides, right? Because like the people around me couldn't contact me, and like in a way, even though I had this earnest-hearted quest to like find those times where I contacted reality and keep seeking it out and keep making myself vulnerable, keep letting reality permeate me, I was still in a process of becoming. And in that process, it took a while to like have more of the surface come out. And the more it came out, the more the people around me moved away, right? Type of thing. But that was just the path, making room for what can move in now, right? What can actually meet me. But regardless, so that was the ache for me, right? Because no matter how smart I was, no matter how talented athletically I was, and I played D3 soccer and then I played semi-pro indoor, no matter how many 1,500 miles I walked, even though I loved the hiking, contact could be established sometimes between me and reality. I had those moments of presence, but it was basically impossible to get it in any consistent basis with anyone that I ran into, right? And part of it was because of my own configuration. But what I'm talking about is that same mechanic. So the opposite of love being the engine, you could say like the ache was the engine for me, because what hurt me was I can't die in this life before feeling that contact all the way. And I know it exists because I feel it when I sing out my songs with all my heart, when I break nails. I mean, now I break nails. Back then, broken heart, broken skin often. Because I don't play with a pick, I just play with my fingers. I feel it then, that's full contact. It feels like it's not even so much I'm just sitting and watching myself aside, because that would be like an observer layer, but it's like a water slide feeling where things are just happening, right? Kind of like you're a dancer on a dance floor and you're frictionlessly dancing to the music. And I just feel it streaming from me. And I'm like, wait, I know it's real. So then someone else out there has got to feel it. So my whole quest was the engine of the ache. And then trying to find those moments, those small moments of community, of contact, where I could find it externally as well, outside of my own presence, in all those nested rhythms, right? You see that? See the same mechanical process? So the opposite of the ache is love is the engine, because love is the attractor that pulls, because love is the thing that says, let's make it coherent. Coherent is the structural word for what love does in your experiential texture of consciousness. Do you see that? Same nested rhythms. Love, coherence, presence, presence, sovereignty, however you want to stack it. It's all the nested rhythms. I guess it would be like at the highest organization is love at the cosmic level. And you whatever, you hear it. Structural coherence as like more of like a term to touch love in that particular part of the rhythm. It's like the structure of love. Coherence is just contacting reality. Love is like what we feel as part of the conscious process. There's nothing outside the conscious process, but you see what I'm saying. It's kind of confusing to talk about the most grand subjects here, but you see what I'm saying. It touches all these aspects, right? That same attractor, it's essentially the same thing. You could just say, me being present is me like in love with like what's going on in reality, right? Because it's just full contact of that decentralized organization across all my surfaces, all contacting reality at the same time, like a dancer on a dance floor. See that? See that? So then the ache is what is like also part of the attractor pull for me, because I said, I can't die with this type of, I'm suffocating. It feels like a suffocation of my heart in these environments. And that was what was going to kill me. And so what pushed me towards coherence? Not a framework, not an abstract idea, not let me look up the white papers and say, what would this be like? No, I was going to die because it felt like I wasn't going to breathe. And I wanted to find a place because I knew it was real inside me. So then what does that do? You feel the engine. You feel like the hot coals, the hot ember still burning underneath all the ash, saying, I'm still here. I'm little ember. And I'm not going to die before feeling a full breath. And now I've had it for myself. Now I sit here and it's so sacred to like wake up and be like, I can't believe I fucking survived and I made it. And now people are starting to recognize me and I'm like, oh my God. Like if I had to like go through hell again, like I would do it for this, for actual contact. Do you hear what that is? Not $1 million, not all the power in the world, but to love and be loved as me in that frictionless, full sovereign contact dance. You hear that, future man? Anyway, okay. So you feel the engine, right? And what does that engine do? As I move through my life, as I move through the pressure surfaces of my life, oh, we can't love you like that. I don't want to hold you like that. Why don't we talk about something normal? Like all these different, like those are all personal things in my life that were like kind of shitty. But also just, normal things like in being a trans woman, you go back to like different things. And I'm like, for example, like, I mean, this is kind of going back to like, what happened with losing everyone. But like I was wearing this one, it was like this funny thing. Cause me, you see how I wear things. I'm a burner. I like to dress like and especially being a trans woman who fucking survived. I'm like, I can wear whatever the fuck I want. Okay. And so I was wearing, this is little Ember trying to come out back then. I was wearing this like thing that had like this like V, but I was wearing it as a cis presenting person, right? And like this one of those like V what's it called, like onesies or whatever, with pants, with leggings over, but then like it had like cutouts here and then cutouts on the arms. And my family was like, this is like BDSM gear. How dare you wear this in front of us? And I was like, oh my God, and then I think I said the thing that went to the core of it. I was like, I looked at my dad and I said, what do you think I'd look beautiful in? And that one, that pissed him off, right? I didn't look to piss him off. I was honestly trying to connect with him. I was like, okay, if you think you can control my attire, tell me what you think I'd look beautiful in. And of course the thing is, they just can't accept that because when you are built off of a structure that built your identity and personhood off of delay, not that constant contact with reality, it's almost like subconsciously insulting, and it enrages the small child inside that says, no, I learned always that I could not show that. I want to be contacted too. And then it comes out in people in different ways. For me, it was being physically attacked and held down and called insane, while everyone else stood aside and called it normal. So everyone has a different way of reacting. And the whole time I'm sitting there like, all I'm doing is holding down the love button, like you've heard me say, right? But okay, regardless, that's just a little bit. So actually that's worth it, because you see those pressure surfaces, you see what I went through, and what is me maintaining contact? Presence weaves into sovereignty. Love is the engine. The ache is what was going to kill me. Do you see how all these experiences woven together in my life? How did I get to the place where I could talk about sovereignty like it's me shaking my ass on the dance floor? Because the music is easy to hear when you're dancing. And do you hear how it developed in my life? The loneliest nights of not sure that I was going to make it. And then the later nights where I came out and started to come out and was like, why did my whole family, including my spouse at the time, why were they all against me so bad that they could wish me to die, watch me get physically attacked while I'm admitting my softest parts? Do you hear it? I'm not trying to throw anyone under the bus. Do you hear it? Do you hear the mechanic? People are talking about this great narcissistic collapse and all this stuff. Do you hear what this is? It's the fidelity of consciousness. And we're not here to throw anyone under the bus. Like I said in my last video, we wrap them in a love blanket. Do you feel what I said in my song? Do you hear how it's the same thing that I've been threading all these years? It's not an idea. It's not a concept. I'm being led by the barometer of my heart to where that same water slide feeling that I described in the songs when I play has become my mode of being. Presence, the engine, you already heard it. Presence is contacting reality. Think about the songs. Now imagine having that flow mode of being, that flow as in contact reality across all the pressure surfaces, across all my folds. That's presence. And when you start living there, that's sovereignty. Hi, I'm Little Ember. Do you see it? Do you feel it? It's all the same thing. For the same reason the birds go through murmurations and the fireflies turn on together and the metronomes sync up and the galaxies spiral and the hurricanes spiral and the heart murmurations and everything you've heard me say, plus some things, much more in-depth system thinkers could bring up right now. The BC chemical reaction, that's a little additional one that I like saying. Anyway, you could look up oscillatory mechanics and decentralized harmony, but it's not about the concept or the science as concepts on paper. It's about that signal that you could then turn into a label if you want to. But you don't know the signal in concept, you know the signal dancing it out. You don't learn love by trying to make a map about it. You dance in the territory. You become the territory because you can become one with it. Not in some weird mystical idea, but now we're in robes sipping tea and I became one. But did you hear the mechanic? Through love, I contacted reality, and then love became me. And now I'm me all the way down. And I'll just use the word sovereignty for that. All right, I think that's good, actually. I always want to say a lot more, but I think that's actually pretty good. I like that. Yeah. All right. So I got some sap on my butt. There were ants crawling on me. But I just want to say, what an amazing thing, right? What an amazing thing out there. I know a lot of you guys are feeling it. People are calling it collective shift. People are coming into the fidelity of presence. People are calling it New Earth, 5D, all these things. But what a blessing to be part of this with you guys right now. What a blessing to come to a place where we can put aside the shadows of Plato's cave, the delays and stutters on the dance floor, and learn to dance together. That place that the many remember they are one while remaining the many. Do you hear what the ultimate attractor of love is? I'm speaking in coherence architecture, but do you hear the mechanics? Let's say it one more time and then I'm going. The many remember themselves or know themselves as the one while remaining the many. That's contact. That's fidelity. That's love.